Peter Pan has a very weird lore, and I'm about to tell y'all about it. It starts with J.M. Barrie. He's the writer of Peter Pan, the creator, and he lived in London, and he used to hang out at the park on a daily basis and entertain the children in the park because he could wiggle his ears, tell all these famous stories, make faces, and all these cool things because he was an actor. And he ends up becoming very close to this one family of boys called the Davy Boys. And they're at the park every day with their nanny. And her name, for the sake of the story, is Gladys, okay? And they're there with Gladys on a regular basis. And it's two brothers. And they have a little brother. His name is Peter. And he tells the boys this enchanting story about how babies can fly. And even Peter can fly. If you're not watching Peter, Peter will fly away to go to a land where babies become boys and they never grow up. Okay. As time goes on, he ends up meeting the boys' parents later on at a dinner party. He tells them, I play at the park with your kids. They're amazing kids. Back then in the 1800s, this wasn't considered weird. And he ends up becoming a big part of their family. The dad is alive, mom, the boys, the governess, and Jim. J.M. Barrie, they're all friends, family, kicking it, right? Even though him and the governess didn't really like each other, they wasn't really cool like that. So as time goes on, the dad ends up passing away. Peter Pan becomes a success, and J.M. Barrie ends up helping the mom put the boys through school. He helps finance their schooling. He again is a part of the family and all the things. And then the mom becomes sick. She passes away. J.M. alleges her and him were engaged, but the people start saying that was not true. Like, they might have been, but they was never engaged. However, in her will, the mom leaves custody, basically, of the children to her family, people in her family, people in her husband's family. But she asked that Gladys, the governess, and Gladys's sister Jenny, be able to be a part of the child rearing, right? And she mentions J.M. Barrie in the will as being just a part of the kids' lives, but it's alleged that J.M. Barrie went back, changed the name Jenny in the will to Jimmy, which was the name that the mom called him, so that he could be even more entrenched into the boys' lives. As time goes on, the boys do end up passing away, and actually the son, Peter, once he becomes 63, he does end up, unfortunately, unaliving himself later on. Now, that's one weird part of the lore of Peter Pan. The next weird part of the lore of Peter Pan involves Disney and Bobby Driscoll. So Bobby Driscoll was a child actor, and he was known at Disney as being like the child actor of Disney. The people loved him. They were putting him in everything. If they needed a little boy to run across the stage in a Disney film, because Disney used to make like films, not just animated features, like they still do, but back then, like, Bobby Driscoll was the one. Okay. So as time goes on, like all children, Bobby Driscoll starts to grow up, and as he starts to grow up, right before he grows up, he does the voice acting for Peter Pan. And Walt Disney is like, this is Peter. Like, Peter Pan is going to be such a great hit. He does the physical body, like, modeling so that they can draw the characters for Peter. Like, he is Peter, right? He's about 12, 13 years old at this time. Now, granted, what happens once a boy reaches 12, 13, they go through puberty. Their voice changes, their skin changes, their body changes, right? Okay. So, Bobby Driscoll gets a raise at Disney to $1,750 a week, and things are looking up for Bobby Driscoll's career. However, when they get ready to go into re-sign his next contract, Disney chooses to not re-sign his next contract. They choose to say, hey, we're going to part ways with you now because you have acne and you have body hair and your voice is changing. We don't want to work with you anymore. And so Bobby Driscoll gets fired from his contract at Disney, and Disney had been his home. Disney had been all he ever knew. He went to a special school for young actors during this time, a special high school for young actors. His parents take him out of the school. They put him in a regular school. It's awful for him at the regular school. He's being exposed to rugs at the regular school. He's being bullied relentlessly at the regular school. Why? Because people are calling this boy Peter Pan. Why? Because they used his face for Peter Pan. His parents do decide to put him back into the school of actors, but the damage is already done. He's gone from being a zero, from being a hero to a zero, and now he is trying to find his way in the world as an adult. Does he go back to acting? Does he get a regular job? What does Bobby Driscoll do? He unfortunately ends up just kind of wandering aimlessly throughout life, well until he gets into his 30s, into which, because of the damage being done to him as a child actor, he does unfortunately pass away as well. Saying that to say, Peter Pan has some weird lore involved with it to begin with. Peter Pan is weird, like I said.